Hey people, how you doing? Welcome to the Sports Therapy Association podcast, recorded live on Tuesdays on the Sports Therapy Association YouTube channel. So if you are listening to this and you'd like to join us to be able to direct questions to our special guests face to face, as it were, then that's what you got to do. Pop along to the YouTube channel for the Sports Therapy Association. Also, it's a chance to network. This is the first Tuesday of the month. So what we do, as advertised, is we have a Have Your Say episode, which is where we invite members from the STA, sometimes regional reps from the STA, to come up and we have a chat and we talk about what better way. I was just talking off air with our lovely guests tonight. What better way to talk about real life celebrations and issues and problems and worries and concerns than to bring up some real life members up here. So I'm really looking forward to it. We're also going to talk about last month's podcasts. So we're going to be talking about Sonia Fierro. We'll be talking about this Bayley episode. We're talking about Bill Taylor as well, which was last week's. And then if we've got time, we'll have a little chat about what we're looking forward to at Therapy Expo, which of course is this November 23rd, 24th. And as per last year, we will have the STA Theatre there with some wonderful speakers throughout Wednesday and Thursday, details of which we'll bring up during this episode as well. If there's anything on the screen which we talk about and you want to see it, then again, just go along to the video version of this on our YouTube channel. I'm really keen to get the guests up here. I don't think I've got any more announcements or anything to say. No, that's what I'm going to do. So in no particular order, I shall bring up people from the STA who will be joining us tonight. Let's bring up always the man of the moment, Gary Gibson, founder. Gary Gibson. Let's bring up Gary Gibson. Whatever that is. Let's bring up Gary Benson, founder of the STA. It's Gary Gibson. Hey, Gary Gibson, how are you, mate?
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Yeah, I'm great, thank you.
I've only known him for 12 years or something. Okay, and we're also going to bring up Nicki Mansfield. Hey, Nicki, how you doing?
Very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for joining us. And we've also got Benny Boy Mace-Crossley. Hey, Benjamin, how you doing?
Hello.
And in our hearts, we are carrying Mr. Stevie Barr, who for some reason isn't on cam at the moment. I can't see him anywhere. He did come and go. Could be a Glasgow issue without stereotyping internet connection up there. But yeah, maybe it could be. Maybe the weather. That's what I meant to say. Maybe it's the weather in Glasgow. But Stevie Barr will probably be joining us at some point. So there we go. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Let's just start with maybe a little bit of who you are and how long you've been with the STA and all that. Should we start with that? Maybe Nicki, with you?
Yeah, I'm Nicki Mansfield. I'm a soft tissue therapist based in St Ives in Cambridgeshire. I've been with the STA 2 months now. I know. I'm also a member of the ISRM. I've been a member with them since I qualified, because that's who I qualified with. But I really liked all of your guys' podcasts and the support network, and I just felt like something I wanted to be a part of as we got into the second half of this year, and you said yes. So
he said yes. Fantastic. And we're very picky about who we let in through our doors, aren't we?
Really not.
So fantastic. Yeah, great. 2 months. Fantastic. We'll be talking about that shortly when we hear about how it's been, how it's changed your life. Benjamin Mace-Crossley, thank you for joining us, sir. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm great, thanks. How is it?
You're based where in?
So I'm based in Helsby in Cheshire, so just on the outskirts of Chester. I've been with the STA, almost 2 years, maybe, I reckon. I'm recently a member of the ISRM as well. Yeah, and I think this is the second time I've been on one of these podcasts as well. So
This certainly is. It is, so thank you for that.
Exciting.
Fantastic. And then also Stevie Barr's here. Let's bring Stevie up as well. Now he's here. I don't know how long it's going to last for. Remember last time he froze, didn't he? We weren't quite sure. Hey, Stevie, how you doing?
Don't even go there, right? Okay. When you changed over, it kicked me out, so don't you start. I'm doing really well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well. If there's anyone in this industry who isn't aware of Mr. Stevie Barr, just in case, could you let us know who you are and how long you've been with the STA and where you're based?
Oh, goodness. I've been with the STA just about a year, I think, because I've only been in practice for about a year. Based in Glasgow, working in a clinic in the West End in Glasgow, and also working with my colleague, the fabulous, the wonderful Leslie Campbell, who's also a member of the STA.
Exactly. Who's actually in the house now. people listening to podcasts, you can't see, but when people who join us in the live lounge leave comments, then we can bring them up on the screen. For example, Leslie Campbell is in the live lounge, and Leslie Campbell just said, Catherine, he just has issues with a full stop. This often happens. People just start their own little discussion in the live lounge amongst themselves, which isn't a bad thing, because you'll be mixing with other therapists from around the country. And we've also been joined by Catherine Weimer, who is now showing lots of emoticons with smiles and tears. But it's lovely when you do join us live. Becky Carroll is in the house. And other people. Lynn Palman is here, who says, just bring it up on the screen, nice Ben speaking for us Northerners. It's not really truly North, is he? Not when we've got somebody from Glasgow and he's shaking his head there. It's kind of Midlands, isn't it? Yeah, that kind of part of the world.
From Leeds originally.
That's getting northern.
It's a little more over.
Anyway, so yeah, thanks guys very much. And of course, Gary Benson, how long have you been with the STA, Gary? It's been a while now.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think it's since day one.
You said, how long were we talking? For people, we presume that everyone knows, but how long ago did you set it up, and what were the circumstances?
I think September 2013, I had a bit of an epiphany and was really fed up with the industry. Much the same topics as we're talking about now, out of date teaching practices, etc. And I was a bit disappointed with the way I was represented, paying my annual fee and getting very little in return. So I walked away from the industry for some time. But, people who I knew in the industry said, we want you to be involved. You need to do something and start something for us, and fulfill the promises that you've made to us in a role that I had previously. And so I thought about it, for a few weeks, and then decided to set up the STA, fully aware that it would add to the political climate and the confusion about the industry, particularly because we're the Sports Therapy Association, and we were originally set up, if you like, to represent those people who had a foundation degree in sports therapy, or what's called a 2+1, where it's a foundation degree with the option to top up if you reach a certain benchmark. If we'd have stuck to that model, if you like, we probably wouldn't be here today, because there aren't enough of those people who stay in the industry. And whilst we have a steady turnover of members, as all of the membership associations do, we got a reputation for being very supportive, and we started to get applications from soft tissue therapists at levels 3, 4, and 5. Graduate sports rehabilitators, some osteopaths, some sports physios. So we kind of diverse, and we have looked at our branding, but I think it wouldn't be good to rebrand now. We are the Sports Therapy Association. We do represent soft tissue therapists and sports massage therapists, as is reflected in our mission statement, which is accessible from the website www.thesta.co.uk. So yeah, I've been with it from the start. If I'm honest, it's grown exponentially more than I expected it to. We've got a fairly big team now. Obviously, there's yourself, there's Scott. You'll meet most of the team at Therapy Expo, actually. Scott, our regional rep coordinator, is coming down. We've got Jake in the business development and partnership development. He also does some of the admin. We've got Fiona and Debs, who are heading up the Women in Sports Therapy podcast series. So yeah, there's a few of us now, and it's good to be able to give something back to the industry, because I'm not working in clinical practice presently due to capacity. Really, I just haven't got the capacity to do it. So yeah, that's where we are.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it has grown and grown and grown, and is being spoken about and being commented on in other disciplines as well, which is probably one of the nicest things to see, that because it started off in a time where there's very clear barriers between physiotherapy and chiropractic and osteopathy, and now it seems that I think we play quite a big part in bringing different disciplines together, and this is probably going to be celebrated in Therapy Expo, which we're really excited. Everyone here today is going to be at Therapy Expo, and if you're listening, then everyone here today, all the beautiful dulcet voices you hear today will be there live in the flesh for you to chat to at Therapy Expo on the 23rd and 24th of November. And it was a right crack last year. It was so nice to see people in person. And we have a great time just talking to each other on the line. So imagine in person, it's going to be fantastic, really warming, really supportive, and recommend it. If you're doubting whether to go, then you can always have a chat about it by talking to anybody from the STA, your regional reps, or you can email Gary, Gary at the STA.co.uk, or me, Matt at the STA.co.uk, or just admin at the STA.co.uk. Have a chat if you're not sure if it suits you. And of course, there is still a discount if you're an STA member. Okay, if you're worried about prices and you're not an STA member yet, then this might be the time to think, okay, this is one of the many benefits we're going to get. In which case, you can also look at the website, easy to sign up there. It will be cheaper than you can imagine, I promise you. And it's not all about low costs, but you know what, it kind of is as time goes on, isn't it? It's just another monthly expenditure, but there's plenty of reasons why you should consider us. And again, if you want to talk to somebody about that, then just contact us.
As we've got bigger, you know, as you identified, other stakeholders are talking about us and getting in touch. And, you know, just as an example, I had a phone call from India this morning looking to see if we could support some of the people involved in sports therapy over there. And so, you know, that's something that I'm exploring to get some international recognition programs running. But, you know, as a result of us growing, it has become incumbent on us to have policies and procedures in place for our members to support our members. And, you know, my job, you know, my 9 to 5, which is actually 8 until 2 and then 6 until 8 every day, is supporting members in whatever they need, whether that be help navigating the website or the resources that we have, whether that be writing policies with the assistance of Scott. But we've, you know, my role is supporting, as I've identified, but we thought it important as a result of some conversations we were having with one of the major employers of graduate sports therapists in the country, who place GSTs and GSRs in the NHS for the MSK care. And we had discussions about, you know, what my role is with the association, and that's prompted us after discussion to come up with our own supervision policy. And for those of you who don't know sort of what supervision is, it's a way of, if you like, identifying and developing personal and industry related CPD. It's a way of getting support with anything that may happen in the clinic that you're unsure of. It's a way of supporting subordinates, if you like. So if you do some shadowing, for example, with somebody, they could be classed as being a supervisor to you. You know, we have our mentorship scheme where we've got about 15 people on the mentorship scheme at the moment, where we have monthly chats and group chats, and we set targets and we support them in that way. So that's a policy that we're bringing out. As you mentioned, we've been able to negotiate good discounts with a lot of the major providers, and STA members can go to Therapy Expo for £79 plus VAT, irrespective of the early bird price, the price rises or the final price. Our members get our own price all the way through. So yeah, there's a lot happening. The office is always busy, the phone's always busy, and as you know, Matt, organising the conference, which you've now taken responsibility for, you know, that used to take up a lot more of my time, and I didn't have the capacity to do other things. So I'm really looking forward to it. And last year, I've said to several people that I enjoyed it the most last year, because I could then focus on meeting the members and prospective members and talking to people with an interest in the industry. And I know we've got 2 joint members of the ISRM and the STA, and you know, we work closely with Melcash and Anna Maria to develop those sort of alliances, if you like, and common grounds between both associations. Others we don't work so much with because we're not really truly aligned with what they do. But you know, we are all friendly bunch, and we do speak from time to time. I speak to Ollie from Basrat and Paul from the SMA regularly, and Nick Mooney. So, you know, we are recognised in the industry now, and it's just testament to the standard of our members and our staff who are flying our flag and giving out our message. But you mentioned getting in touch with the regional representatives. We've been working on the website. We were aware that if we put contact details of our regional reps on there, then it's highly likely they would be harvested and spammed. So we've been working to develop a messaging system. So if you go onto the website, the Meet the Team, you can contact me underneath my profile picture with a contact form, and that's something we're rolling out to all the regional reps. Should be done by the end of this week. So you can get in touch with your regional reps simply by sending them a contact through the website. You have to, you know, prove you're not a robot, and then that will go directly to their email inbox, but we are protecting their personal data. So yeah, that's an update from me. That's what we've got going on, and I'm just looking forward to this chat. I'm probably going to hover in the background if that's okay, so you can send me back down to the lobby, and if anybody's got any questions, I'll be able to then see the questions and answer them.
Okay, brilliant, Gary. Thank you so much. Okay, well, you asked for it, so I'm going to send you back down to the lobby. If we need to bring you up again, there's always a seat here for you.
Okay.
There you go. So that was Gary Benson, founder of the STA. I hope that's very important information to those of you who are thinking of joining or have joined up, and it highlights a lot of important stuff, which we're going to look in now in a real life scenario, because the thing I look most forward to tonight is hearing from you guys, Nicki and Benjamin and Stevie, about how things are going in your practice. You're all working clinicians, but you're all in different parts of the country. You've all different levels of experience. So I thought what we'd do is spend some time just giving you a chance to talk about your business, a little bit of history, and maybe some current celebrations, maybe some current dramas, whether you've overcome them, that sort of stuff, because I'm sure a lot of it will relate, not all of it, but it will relate to some people. Oh, here we go. Those of you not watching, oh, no, it's fine. Those of you listening to the podcast, there was nearly that's fine. So so I'm going to do that. If you do have any questions, people in the live lounge, if anything which our STA, Stevie's now taking his top off, it's all going very wrong very quickly. If any of you do have any questions in the live lounge, that'd be great as well. If anything touches, or you just want to back it up or ask a question to anybody on here, then that's fine. If you're listening to the podcast, you've got any questions, then don't keep them to yourselves. You can either email them to matt@sta.co.uk or hop along to YouTube and put them in the comments there. The conversation can continue even though this episode might be finished and uploaded as a podcast. So, Nicki, should we start with yourself? Given that you've been with the STA for 2 months, but you've been practicing for a lot longer, yes?
Yes, I qualified, I think it was 2010. It could have been 2009, but sometime around there. And as soon as I qualified, I started a home practice, and I've kept that throughout, and then worked at different other places as well. So physio clinic to start off with, a chiropractic clinic as well for 5 years, and then a strength and conditioning gym in a nearby village for the 7 years up to COVID. And I think for the first 5 or 6 years now, I'm reflecting on my practice now and practice then. I won't say I coasted. I did all my CPD, but the CPD choices seemed a bit random, a little bit technique-y, so technique-based or joint-based. So kind of gathering, but not necessarily part of a quest or of a path. And then in 2017, I had a vision. It kept me awake one night. It came to me in such clarity that I had to get up and draw it all on my niece's big, massive drawing pad. And since that, and part of that vision was the clinic or the hub or the place that I would build for people to come and feel better. And a big part of it was my move from I always joke that I call it, I push static flesh. I thought I'm getting bored of pushing static flesh. I feel there's more to be gained by getting more movement into the sessions. For me, but mostly for the client, and also with a kind of a lighter and lighter touch. So in 2018, I did 2 things. I started looking for an advanced clinical diploma to kind of pursue this different direction. And Therapy Expo is a place where I looked. I'd been going there for a couple of years then, and I nearly signed up for Ruth Duncan's, and then I stumbled across James Earls's, which is a whole story in itself, and ended up signing up for that one. And then at the same time, I started building a team. So I recruited a little girl, and then I recruited a little boy, and we started building a team at the gym with a few different skills. And then 2019, I was due to start. I think 2019 I signed up for the diploma, and it was due to start at the end of 2019. Got put back to February 2020, and then obviously didn't happen. So 2020 was. So between 2020 and 2022, they're the most difficult financially and diary bookings wise for me since I started. I had up until then 8 or 9 straight years of full diary wait list. That's one of the reasons I took on staff when I did, is to offload quite a lot of that. and emotionally, mentally was it was kind of okay at the beginning, but then it just went on and on and on, and we couldn't see an end in sight. And so financially for the past 2 years, it's been pretty difficult. It's quite tough. But for the past year, on a more practice, personal growth, clarity of purpose front, it's been my best year in practice right since the beginning. It might be one of my best years in my life in terms of how fulfilling it's been. So I finally got to do the introductory course to the diploma a year ago, last weekend, because it was Halloween. And everything has just kind of spiraled since then. It spiraled upwards since then. I just kind of found my place. I found this. I was absolutely right about choosing that diploma. The content, the teachers are awesome. You do know them.
You can mention them. That's fine. Say them out loud.
It's James Earls and Owen Lewis.
Okay. Yeah.
And their organisation is Born to Move. And you've had James talk on the times. Mm-hmm. And so the diplomas run as 3 modules, which you can take as standalone workshops. And I've had plenty of people on. There's only 3 of us on the diploma, 3 or 4 signed up for the diploma in full in this country anyway. But plenty more people have been on the workshops. And I've just finished the 3rd one of those, which was Owen's, which was hard work, really, really, really kind of like, but it's just so fulfilling. It's completely changed the way I practice. Not completely as in I'm doing stuff completely differently. I'm just looking at things differently, thinking about them differently. My couch now is, you can see it's pushed to the side of my room. When clients walk in, it kind of helps to give them the idea that maybe they're not going to climb on there and get squished and squeezed around. Maybe there's going to be some movement involved. And there always was, but I kind of move it out of the way. But now it's permanently out of the way. So I can start by watching them move. And then if it's appropriate, we intervene while they're moving, and then we check. And so it just brings it much more alive to me. And there's plenty of couch-based work goes on as well. Some people, you try and make an intervention when they're moving, there's no way that body's letting you in, or they completely stop when you put your hands on them. So it's been such a wonderful year. And another big part of it has been the forums. So the STA, the ISRM, we were kind of forced into online forums to, ostensibly at the beginning, I think it was to make sure the members were guided through the COVID guidelines, what we were supposed to do for hygiene practices, our risk assessments and things. And when I first started 12 years ago, that 5 or 6 years I mentioned at the beginning, I very much felt alone. I was happy, but I was very much a lone therapist. And in the past couple of years, for the first time in my career, I feel like part of something bigger. And I feel really proud to be part of the things that I'm proud of. And I've been to Therapy Expo every year since, I can't remember when the first one was at Birmingham. I think the first year I went was 2016. And I've always gone on my own. I always go there because I'm from the West Midlands, and so I've got a place to stay. It's the easiest one for me to get to. So all other CPD for me just seemed inaccessible. It's like, London, Liverpool, Scotland, Bristol, Birmingham. I'm like, yes, I can stay at mum and dad's. But this year, I'm going to meet all of these people that we've been chatting to online and actually put faces to name and touch people, because we're touchy-feely people. And that's an advance warning. I am going to touch people. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This 20-year vision that I had in 2017 is now, we're 5 years in. I haven't made much progress, but this year I've started to make progress. And there are things directly as a result of what's happened to me over the last year, especially my diploma and the people I've met on that, that are now part of that plan. And I've got things that are so exciting planned for next year, in the first half of next year, that I could never have dreamed possible. Never, ever. Even within this amazing vision that I had. It's just been, it's still hard. The diary's still not full. But just in terms of self-fulfillment and passion for this wonderful profession that we're all part of helping humans to move better, I feel like the luckiest little people squeezer in the world.
Wow. That's quite inspirational, wasn't it, Benjamin and Stevie?
It was, yeah. So I'll go now.
Follow that. There's just one question I want to ask,
Yeah.
because it's really interesting that the differences in CPD. So in the beginning, the first 5 years, you felt you were kind of dipping into CPD here and there, but there was no structure to it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because you're obviously spending money with that CPD. It was costing, but it sounds like there wasn't like a long-term investment. It was all over the place. But now you found something which suddenly makes sense, and it's giving you a much longer sort of life expectancy of being able to use that information and people to work with and stuff. So that's got to hit home for quite a few people out there, because there's always this question for people: what CPD should I do? What CPD should I do? It's like the most common thing, isn't it, with particularly maybe younger therapists or therapists who are into it. So when you do, because on social media somebody did say, what CPD should I do? With the wise head you've got on you now and the experience you've had, what would your reply be to someone? They're going, what CPD should I do? What should I do? What would you say to them?
So I learned 20 odd years ago that I make the best decisions with my heart and not with my head. So I use my head to kind of input the information and then just kind of go, oh, okay, that's an idea. And then it goes in the back of my head and it rattles around a bit. And then at some point, the answer pops out. And that's where this kind of vision came from. And it was so loose that I wanted to be more movement-based and have a lighter touch. But the whole career shift, I had 20 years in a career before this, and the whole career shift was an idea that went, I want to help people more directly, and I want to use my hands. And then that rattled around in my brain for about 10 years, and then it popped out that this is what I want to do. And so for me, because I felt those two things so clearly, I wanted it more movement-based and I wanted it as a lighter touch. When I was looking for an advanced clinical diploma, because I felt as if, okay, I'll keep doing CPD. I want to get stuck into something now. I want to be assessed. I want to do case studies. I want to somebody to critique my understanding of the subject. I started looking for diplomas and stumbled across James's before the long story shortened is it hadn't been launched yet, and I'd somehow managed to find a website that shouldn't have gone live. And so these little things to me are quite significant signs. But putting that aside, I read it and it felt like home. It felt like, yes, it really spoke to me. So if I hadn't have already known that I wanted to work more in movement and with less pressure, with less touch, I might have seen that diploma, say, a year previously and kind of went, yeah, I don't think so. It's just, I think it was just because I knew my direction. As soon as I encountered the thing that would help me get there, it made sense. So I also would like to do with Duncan's advanced certificate. And that's the one I was going to go with, mostly because that was pretty much the only one available. And I still hope to be able to do that one day. But this one popped up and I went, that's the one. That's the one I need.
That's cool. So it's having a clear idea of what you want to do. I think the movement was the key word for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, just see what jumps out at you. See what feels right.
So there you go. Hence the name Mansfield Massage and Movement.
Exactly. It's always been that. Always since the beginning, even when all I ever did was push static flesh. I've known that it's that important.
Push static flesh. That's fitting up there now with Diane Jacobs and Jason Silvernail and all that, and Paul Ingram's now. We've got push static flesh. I like it. Very nice. Right, that's really inspirational, Nicki, and I'm really happy. It's really nice to hear that you're in a great place, and as a human, you feel more fulfilled. That's got to be a good business model. If you're proud of what you're doing, and you feel like I'm helping people, then that's got to eventually, when the climate changes, and that's got to be such a healthy business model to have underneath you, that I'm really proud and fulfilled with what I'm doing. So really cool. Very nice. Right, Benjamin, sorry. I know that's a tricky one to follow. But yeah, tell us about you, mate.
I mean, it sort of started back in the 2019. So my first real year into the industry was smack in the middle of COVID. So it's been a bit of a challenge, but I wouldn't have changed anything really. It kind of gave me time to really understand how I wanted to start it, where I wanted to be, which courses I wanted to do. So I've started with a basic think it was Active IQ level 3, then went into Active IQ level 4. And then I flirted around with a couple of different courses, which I paid for and then started, and then realised it just wasn't really what I was after. One of them being the corrective exercise by Nassan. I just really didn't connect with it, and joining you guys and kind of just being educated furthermore through my own sort of there's a bit of a feedback that I'm hearing of myself, so it's really off-putting.
Where's your microphone? I'm just going to say, have you got
bizarre.
Where's your microphone? Can you get closer to your microphone, or is it on your?
It's in my ear.
Oh, right. Okay, that's fine. I just can't hear you very well. That's all.
Oh, really?
Just speak a little bit louder, maybe.
Is that better?
I think so. Try.
Hi.
Yeah, keep going. I'll let you know. Purposely speak a little bit louder. That's all.
I don't want to be shouting.
Oh, it won't come across as shouting. I promise you.
Okay. So, things just kind of grew. I had my first clinic space in Chester City Centre, which was great, an amazing footfall. But then, as school started to open a little bit more back up, and my wife was getting back into work, I had an opportunity in this brand new community sports that we have here in Helsby to rent the room out there. And it's literally a 5-minute walk from my house, so I can nip back home, take my daughter to school, pick back up from school, come back down in the evening, and everything's just kind of falling into place from there. So this room, this area, this clinic I've set up is perfect. It's smaller than what I've had before, but it's perfectly fine for what I need. I've recently joined Anna Maria's course for the soft tissue therapy diploma.
Which one? Sorry.
Great.
Have you got your mic? Can you hold your microphone in front of your mouth? Just a bit. Yeah, lovely. I can edit the YouTube video and kind of make your head a normal shape, but it's fine. Just stay close up to the mic. That's great. So who are you doing the soft tissue diploma with?
Anna Maria.
Okay, brilliant. How's that going for you?
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I really feel like this is the course where I've learned a lot. And it's even just going back to it, and it's not just the techniques, it's understanding what we are doing, what we are not doing, and how to better communicate and understand and listen to the client, listen about their journey, and how we can help from that side of things by just allowing them to talk, and the answers come out. So that's where I'm up to now. Oh no, actually, I've just started as well a introductory to physiotherapy at Wrexham University. So it's an active course because I'm hoping to do physiotherapy degree in 2023.
What's made you want to do that?
I want to work for the NHS.
Okay, good reason to do physiotherapy. Yeah. What particularly attracts you to that?
I think it's the patience and the caring, and really making a difference to people who really kind of are in need of it.
Yeah.
Where the clientele who I see within private practice are quite sporty folk, a couple of niggles here and there, quite mild injuries, do a little bit of rehabilitation work with them, and they're back on their way. But to, step in with, I don't know, let's say someone who's been in a serious car accident and they've been left now with neurological, disorders through damage, and trying to get their life back on track with them, that's really appealing to me. Very
interesting. Great. And from knowing you and this sort of, I haven't met you in person, I'm really looking forward to meeting you at Therapy Expo. But that seems to fit in with the impression I've got of you, of this 2D kind of digital image. You're a very caring, kind of thoughtful person. So I might be entirely wrong. Might be an absolute.
We shall see.
Yeah. But no, it sounds like a really healthy decision. I think you could be private sector's loss and the NHS sector's gain. It'd be really exciting. Wicked. Right, we've left the man sitting too long. Thanks for that, Benjamin. And Stevie, how are you, mate?
I am
Yourself.
grand.
You said about a
Thank
year,
you.
did you? A year? Where did you come from? Where did you come from?
I suppose I'm a little bit weird. I just, don't answer that. In respect that I came at this from the wrong side, if you like. Didn't come at it from the kind of PT side and then decided I wanted to get into that. I came at it initially from the biomechanics side with Rachel, and got introduced to pain science, explained pain, and that was me. I read that and thought, right, okay, I need to learn more about this, and so started, looking at Peter O'Sullivan and Greg Lehman and the usual suspects. I filled my head up with all sorts of nonsense. I took Claire Minshall's rehab for therapist course, did that, and then
I just want to clarify. You said I've got to do this for Claire because she's on next week. You said I filled my head up with all. I can't do the accent. I filled my head up with all sorts of nonsense. I did Claire Minshall's course. We need a pause there, at least a full stop.
That definitely wasn't nonsense. I really enjoyed that, and it opened up my eyes because, like everybody else, I guess, I'm going to the gym and I've done the 3 reps of 10 for years and years and years and years and years, and then discovered that actually there's a different way of doing this, So that was one thing that actually opened up my eyes a lot about that, about rehabbing people and strength and all that brings. But I got to the place where I'd done all this reading and read books and articles online and followed these people, and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with it all. And the only thing I could think of is, well, I need to get hands-on. If I want to help, my idea is similar to Nicki's in a way that I want to help people move, but it's people who think that they are past it, too old to move, that, they used to do something in their 20s and now they're in their 40s. I just can't do this anymore. And my idea is, well, I can. But there's no reason why you can't. If you want to do something, what is it you want to do? Let me help you get back to that. And the only thing I could think of was, well, you've got to get hands on people. That's got to be a starting point. You've got to get people to get your hands on and say, look, it's not as bad as you think. We can do something here and get you moving again. So I looked at sports massage therapist and did the level 3 AIQ, and that was during COVID. And it was an unfortunate one because I started it in November 2020, I think. No, so it seems that long ago. And then it was a good chance that we were going to be out of COVID again, but obviously we went back into it after the new year. So I had done all the preparatory work. I'd done all the paperwork, if you like. What I really needed to do was to get onto the hands-on days. That took 6 months until I eventually got there. And how I managed to get through the hands-on stuff, I have no idea, because I don't think I deserved it. I really don't. And absolutely no doubt in my mind, if it hadn't been for meeting Leslie Campbell and being able to learn from her, I wouldn't be in the place I'm in just now. First of all, in terms of have the confidence to actually put hands on people and be confident that you can do that. And secondly, she got me into the clinic that I'm in, which is a different thing. I am retired. So this is part of my retirement plan as well, sort of thing. So I know it doesn't look like I am, but I'm 60 and I'm retired. And so this isn't a financially dependent thing for me. It's something I want to do. So I don't have to see, 10 clients a week, every week, every month. If I see 2 clients a week, 3 clients a week, I'm great with that. That's absolutely cool. It's just getting to see people and help them, which I'm absolutely loving. And so practically all my clients come through the clinic. So the physios, I've seen them first. They've done all the diagnosis. They've done practically everything, and I get my chance to put my hands on and have a bit of chat about movement and what else we can do and all that kind of thing. So kind of that's where I am at the moment. Is I'm in a good little place with a clinic. I'm in a good little place with my learning, because I understand that, you know, I haven't even reached the bottom rung of the ladder yet, if that makes sense. You know, I've still got like so much to do, so much to learn. And it's great. It's been, you know, looking in COVID when the Massage Collective were running their little lunchtime ones, you know, I was lucky enough to be involved in one of those, and I've watched most of those. The STA podcast. I mean, all these things which have been available to learn from. Getting to meet all the people through all of this, you know, all you guys, and all the people in the background who are sitting there, you know, watching tonight, and I've watched before, and some of whom I met at Therapy Expo last year, which was a great experience, because I really did feel last year I was possibly going to be out my depth, but you know, I wasn't treated, if you know what I mean. I wasn't treated as if I was. I was just treated like, you know, that stupid idiot from Glasgow, which was great. And I'm really, really looking forward to catching up with people this year as well. That's part of a big part of the reason why I'm going, is just to catch up with people again, you know, and just that, sit down, have a chat, not over a TV screen or a computer screen, and get that face-to-face thing going again. And also the content is, I'm struggling, I have to say. I have no idea who I'm going to go and watch. There's so much to choose from. There really is so much to choose from.
There is indeed. Yeah, there's an awful lot. I mean, you're not going to see everything, but that's the lovely thing. What I found as well from last year is, because they're realizing now that you can get great CPD from sitting down having a coffee with a fellow therapist. You don't have to go and see everything. So one of the great things about going to the new kind of version of Therapy Expo for the last couple of years has been, you don't have to see everything. You can have a 10-minute conversation with somebody who's been somewhere else, and it'll just be enough to stimulate you, and then you can go away and look up that person online and stuff. And so there's so many ways of educating yourself in a healthy environment. We all tell our patients and clients that you should learn in a playful, kind of fun environment, and that's, I think, what Therapy Expo turned into. You know, you're so receptive if you're relaxed and calm and feel part of community. Your brain is just like the same 5-year-old who hopefully, you know, is also feeling that same way of, you know, no kind of jealousy, or kind of is just ready to soak everything up. So yeah, we're all 5-year-olds basically. That's what I was trying to say in that analogy. When you get to Therapy Expo, we're all little kids ready to play football with anybody. So yeah, exciting. Thanks, Stevie. I'm sure a lot of that has rung bells, hopefully, with people listening on the podcast. Gosh, look, it's 8:44. It's fascinating. Thank you three for sharing that insight into what's brought you into the industry. All slightly different and yet similar things as well, especially with the movement base and education, and learning mostly through support, you know, touching base with other people. So appreciate for that too. Right. Well, look, I did promise on the advert we were going to bring up a little bit and just chat about our guests last month in October. Those of you who listen to podcasts, I've just put up on the screen the first person in our October look at people who have come to Therapy Expo was Sonia Fierro, who opened up in October. All of these people are available. They're going to be at Therapy Expo talking. Sonia is going to be in the STA Theatre on the Wednesday, opening it up. She's going to be at the round table as part of the Women in Sports Therapy discussion with Dr. Fiona Higgs and Deb Thurlow-Rowley, and also Anna Maria Mazzieri. Going to be amazing. 4 fantastic women, 4 fantastic educators and experienced therapists from different disciplines who are going to be sitting down chatting for half an hour about women in sports therapy. Going to be a real eye-opener, and it's going to be interactive with people joining us. So that's how I'm obviously biased, but that's how I think be really a healthy, nice way to start off your Wednesday at Therapy Expo. I'm just watching and being part of that. Sonia is talking of women in sports therapy. Sonia doesn't get much more. Well, no, I don't, be careful what I say now. But no, I'm going to change that. Edit. Sonia had a child 6 months ago, which puts her into a position which many women find themselves in, where they've got a child and then they're having to kind of juggle suddenly something so important and amazing in their lives with career. Sonia is a CrossFit coach. She's got her own gym and business. She's also, I mean, huge experience. It's worth listening to Sonia, the couple of episodes we've done. She's worked with GB teams across so many different disciplines. Yeah, the episode was great. I don't know whether you guys had a chance to listen to it, but it basically was all about some of the misconceptions in Dr. Google about what women can do prior to or during pregnancy and what they can do postnatal with regards to exercise. Did anybody catch it? And were they kind of surprised what Sonia did or highlighted?
Yeah, one of the parts which really stood out for me is where she was saying that just because there's not enough research and data on pregnant women doesn't mean that we should go straight to the narratives, being that they shouldn't be able to exercise or, you know, take part in any sort of sport or treatments.
Yeah, so the absence of evidence doesn't mean that something kind of can't be done, or yeah. It was quite fascinating. I did some research and checked what the current trends are, and there's still so difficult with Google, isn't it? Maybe we all know it, but Google will put up the thing with the most hits at the top.
Yeah.
And the thing with the most hits is don't lift anything more than your purse. You know, that's what you should do in your first kind of 6 weeks. No body weight exercises was a big result I got during the first 6 weeks. No body weight exercises. After 6 weeks, try some walking. And then there's Sonia, who, again, I should stress here, there was a massive medical disclaimer saying that none of it was medical advice. Sonia is an experienced athlete, but she highlighted that she had support from professionals in the field. She's a strong woman. Obviously, she's competed. She still holds a national Italian deadlift record, but she was using the principles of progressive load to do body weight squats with baby. So 2 birds with 1 stone. She was eventually doing things like kettlebell lifts and all just gentle progressions. But it was quite a wake up to how we need to remind clients about how strong they are and robust, even after time, you know, which we typically think is this person shouldn't move after pregnancy. So it was a real wake up call.
There's a coach in the running club here at Helsby who was she was running up until 37 weeks pregnant. There's a couple of photos of her online, still in her slack with this huge bump.
Yeah, I've been overtaken by a pregnant woman in a marathon. I'm not afraid to say. How did I feel? I accepted it. I'm a modern man. Not. It's like, oh, where are you? Overtaking me in this massive bump. I thought it must be fancy dress. It wasn't. It was real. But yeah, and I've also seen someone's waters break during a step exercise. She was the instructor. So growing up in that environment, I've seen what women can do. She literally went to hospital during the class because the waters broke on the step. That was interesting. I was about 19 at the time. It was an introduction to, something I didn't know about. But yeah, it's something we have to do, isn't it? A lot of the time. I mean, obviously, it doesn't mean everybody can do that. But the message I got was reminding our patients how strong the human body is. You know, I guess you guys have to do that because traditional medicine kind of often makes us feel vulnerable, doesn't it? A lot of the language and the kind of fears. Stevie, do you find yourself kind of trying to help clients realize that they're stronger than they think?
Yeah. And it's a terrible thing to say, but it is very much directed at women. The guys don't get caught up in that so much. I mean, there's not so much, you know, you guys are weak. That doesn't happen. It's women, you can't do this. Women, you can't do that. And it's shameful because there are more women on the planet than men, for a start. What are they? They're all weak, are they? Yeah, you got to be kidding me. Some of the strongest people I know, I don't mean strong as in physically strong. I mean strong as in personalities, mental strength. Are female, so why the hell are we telling them that they're weak to lift stuff? I don't get that narrative at all. And yeah, absolutely with clients, I've been told I've got a weak back or a weak core, and you're like, right, okay, how did that come about? And it's the same old narrative coming across the same old way. The struggle is real. Look, you are so much stronger than you think you are. And you look at all these things that you can do as a matter of your daily life, and then somebody tells you you're weak. I mean, nah, it's just not true. You you are a hell of a lot stronger than you think you are. You just need to believe it. And
as someone who you mentioned who's kind of studied and looked a lot of kind of pain science and modern concepts and pain theory, the fear and kinesiophobia and stuff can actually delay recovery, can't it? If you're not confident in your body.
Yeah. I mean, Leslie and I were talking about this today. The fear of your pain can make your pain worse. Without you even doing the thing that you're afraid of, just the fear of you doing the thing that you're afraid of can make you the pain that you get from doing the thing worse. You just simply put that into your head, and it's an understandable thing in a way. If we get pain, we want to avoid doing the things that give us pain, and we overthink it, and that is it. We overthink about pain sometimes. I like Greg Lehman's idea that, like, poke the bear, accept the fact that it might be a little bit uncomfortable. Don't make it worse. But actually, if you can just learn just to take that little bit of discomfort, who knows? Your tolerance can improve. You feel better about it, and all you're doing is you're just poking it a little bit.
Fantastic. Okay, lovely. Listen, I want to move on to the second guest we had, who talking at Therapy Expo this November, who we have on the show. It was Liz Bayley 2 weeks ago, who Liz started off sports therapy diploma, same as I did actually years and years ago. Decided she wanted to get into physiotherapy, actually through need more than anything, because she admitted, or she told us, that she's now currently working at the Lyceum for Lion King, and she's worked at various other West Ends. And you need to be an allied health professional. You need that certificate, right or wrongly, to actually get into that trade. So it's a good example of where, you had to go through that. She's not using a lot of the skills she learned now, but she needed it to get through the door. But yeah, fascinating chat from Liz about the course she has started, which was the Foundation Foot and Ankle course. Anybody get to watch that or see it?
Yeah.
So
very
Vicky, what did you pick up from it?
One of the biggest things I picked up was how many bloody things can be happening in the foot. This is why there are specialists, and I was completely blown away by how many different conditions, different symptoms, different assessments exist to get a differential diagnosis about exactly what it was. And what interested me with this was it became so essential in Liz's job, with all of her clients, but especially at the Lion King, where her decision about whether that person goes out tonight or not could literally make or break that person's career, as well as their foot or ankle. And I just had an awful lot of respect for her experience that has led her to have such confidence in her differential diagnosis, and her kind of interaction with the people going, well, can she go on if they go on and we change this? And just that knowledge and experience to be able to make those decisions and those be the right ones. I just had an awful lot of respect for it. And then for me, it was, and I started to understand that the reason why she's that good at what she does all started with her passion for the foot, for physio, for dancing, performing arts. And she decided like you just said, she decided she wanted to work in that arena and she needed to be an allied health professional. I'll go and become a physio. And she didn't just become a physio to tick that box. She became just this extraordinary, I'm sure she's good at other bits as well, but she was there to talk about the foot. And it really inspired me that such skills, experience, to such excellence in that chosen subject came purely as a result of her absolute passion in it. And she was just such a really good example of what you can achieve if you kind of got that passion, if you've got that vision, if you know where it is you want to get or what it is you want to do or be immersed in, to go for it and become more than probably what she ever anticipated. I found it really inspiring.
She had a lot of positive energy. She's very driven, isn't she? Very driven.
Hugely. I mean, this is somebody who nearly gone to Strictly. I mean, that's the level of dancing she was on. She was like a step away from being one of the girls on Strictly.
Wow.
Saying that she hasn't taken a day off in years.
It's too much.
Well, she can podcast on her day off.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. Liz is going to be, just to let people know, Liz is going to be at Therapy Expo talking in the STA Theatre on the Thursday at 10 a.m. and she's also later on in the Keynote Theatre 1:50 p.m. She stressed as well. We've called it the dancer's foot, but she was keen during the broadcast as well last week, 2 weeks ago. Although it's called the dancer's foot, a lot of the stuff she's going over is just explosive stuff on a foot, on an ankle. So obviously it could be applied to all different sorts of disciplines. Anybody who's jumping up and down and hopping and coordinating, which is basically every sport where you're on your feet, it could be applied to. So don't think that Liz's is just about, if you work with dancers, it's just clickbait. That's all it is. The dancer's foot comes up there in Google search, rather than putting somebody who jumps up and down.com. It's not going to work. So Liz, great, really, really good episode, and she is so enthusiastic. She's inspirational. She is a great example. Nicki summed it up. She's someone who's reached heights higher than she probably imagined just by going for it. You know, she just looked at what she needed and she's gone for it. So really good show. Listen, I've got to move things on because it's 8:57. Last week we had the wonderful Bill Taylor, who is, I mean, again, all of our guests are fantastic, and I thank them all for coming on, but we should not forget that Bill Taylor really is widely regarded as kind of the leading pelvic health physio in male pelvic floor dysfunction. It was a real honor to have him on. He's been in the game for so long and in a part of the industry which has been tiny and still is too small. And it was really interesting to hear Bill saying, and one of the things I took away from it was, he said we need more soft tissue therapists, we need more sports therapists, more specialist therapists to work with us in this arena. You know, we need you guys to step up if you're interested in helping people in that way and working with pelvic health, whether it's male or female. Talk to us. Okay, we're not going to poo-poo you. We're not going to kind of like turn you away saying, oh, you're just a sports, soft tissue therapist. No, we need you because there's stuff you could be doing to help these people. So I thought that was a real eye-opener. Anybody else get to see it or anything taken away from it? Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I came in to it just after the start, and there was a really good reason, for me wanting to watch it, because I've had my own issues over, the last since 7 o'clock on the 22nd of July, actually, when that was the day when my prostate decided it was going to try and kill me. So that wasn't pleasant. And then, I had to be taken into A&E for the weekend. And then, I ended up being catheterized for 2 and a bit months until I had an operation. So that was a new experience as well. And I was, I was massaging clients whilst I was catheterized. There was nothing to stop me doing that. But what I really liked about it was the matter of factness about it. It wasn't a sort of taboo thing. It wasn't he wasn't beating around the bush. He wasn't trying to sort of, tell a little story and eventually get to the point. It was the matter of factness about the whole time that he spoke. I just found that to be such a pleasant change, I feel like, because guys, we are really, really bad about talking about this stuff. I mean, we're really bad about talking about two things: mental health and pelvic health. We won't speak to anybody. You'll barely speak to your own doctor if you go. Whereas now, I'm just used to it's so matter of fact. I'm used to being poked, prodded, and okay, right, can you undress and let me see that, or let me see that? You're just like, yeah, whatever. But that's what I thought was the best part of it, was the matter of factness about it. And just as you said, look, there's so much out there that we can't cover, and there are so many of you guys out there who could. So if you are interested, then we're at Therapy Expo. Come and say hi. And I'll certainly be going to be doing that. Without a doubt, I'd really like to listen to him again, because I enjoyed it so much, just because he made something that was relevant to me feel even more relevant by the matter of factness about how he did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely good idea to come along and listen to. Bill Taylor, who's going to be in the STA Theatre on the Wednesday, 23rd of November at 1:45 p.m. just after lunch. Sorry, Benjamin, you were going to say something about Bill, were you? No, you were just agreeing with you, Stevie?
I think it was just agreeing. The one thing which I took from Bill, though, was sort of what Steve was saying. His communication is just being very matter of fact, and how he was saying, like, how he looks for cues from people as a way into dig deeper into their conversation, into their personal life, and looking for that opening, and like, right, there it is, right, I can now ask the next question, and he can dig in. It was just, very inspiring.
I love that. I made that note as well, because in your mind you're thinking, right, what do I talk about? Do I talk about his scrotum, his sack, his balls, his testicles, his bollocks? What do I do? And he was like, just open the door and see what word they use, and once they use the word, then just use their vocabulary. You haven't got to use any words you're not sure about, because if you just give them the right questions, they'll open it up, and then you can just expand on what they say, which I thought was really cool, because it is overcoming that a little bit. Yeah, it was good. It was very good. Nicki, did you take any away from that? We're running a bit out of time now, but as you're the only woman here, I'm wondering whether for a woman watching that and working with guys, whether it's different for you, whether you think it is different from you, whether it shouldn't be different for you. Or...
Yeah, I found myself realizing that I had completely kind of gone, ooh, male pelvic health. I'm not dealing with any of that. But the more that Bill spoke, the more I realized I have quite personal chats with my male clients about, the groin area, and use matter-of-fact language, mostly to rule out the red flags. And my clients know from how calm and how matter-of-factly that I do ask these questions, that they don't necessarily need to be need to be embarrassed about it. But it did make me realize that I'm kind of like, all I know is the red flags. What do I do if it's got other side? I've got no one to refer to. So I was really reassured of what Bill was saying about how patients often remark, we get this a lot anyway, but patients often remark that this is the first time they've been listened to and heard. And I've had sessions with new clients where you can kind of tell straight away that actually the hands-on stuff is less important to them at this first session. You just need to be listening. And I think that perhaps in something as specialized and as Stevie said, as potentially taboo as male pelvic health, any pelvic health, I think that maybe that is kind of magnified. So this idea that our clients or patients need to be listened to, and this is often, we've talked about it before on these podcasts, where you don't get that in a 45-minute rehab session with physio. So we get like an hour and a quarter to really talk and listen to people. And then I was also really reassured by when he spent quite a bit of time saying how we can help right now. So rather than just having to quickly refer, I really appreciated him giving us a bit of insight into kind of where the nerve path was from the TL juncture, and if we can do some massage, that's going to ease that path physiologically, but also just restoring the kind of the autonomic nervous system balance with calming touch, and just don't necessarily see them if they present with a pelvic health issue, that's not all they are. These are people who've potentially stopped moving because of the pelvic health issue, and we already know how to help people move better. So I found that really, really reassuring. I feel like I can help people now rather than just kind of go, oh, I need to refer you.
Fantastic. Great takeaway. Very interesting. Okay, well, look, we've got to 9:05 people. So I want to say thank you to you guys for joining us live. Hopefully people listening to the podcast, I really like your feedback, because we're like 2,800 or so people downloading and listening to this these days, which is amazing, because I'm not even sure how many soft tissue therapists there are in the UK. So it's great. I know, I can't remember how many Gary said, about 1,600 or something are STA members, but it's really nice to know we've got 1,000 or so or probably more who aren't STA members. So I'd really like some feedback on whether you've felt the discussions from tonight have been interesting for you, to hear real life examples from sports therapists, sports massage therapists from different backgrounds, areas of the country, different reasons for getting into it. It's all been very interesting. So thank you guys anyway for supplying that. And people listening, make sure either go to YouTube and leave some questions, if you do go to YouTube, then just please subscribe. The subscription for the YouTube channel has been great. It just makes me feel really good that we're getting the message out there. It's like 880 now or something. It's overtaken One Chat Live, which is always kind of my goal, which was great. It's stuff down at 710 now. So we're on our way to 1,000, which is really cool because it means people get a lot from video. Video is really powerful. It means people are watching it and liking it. And so do keep going along to the YouTube channel, Sports Therapy Association, and subscribe and put some comments in there. I'm going to do this obviously every month, is have your say. First Tuesdays every month. So if it's been interesting for you, make sure you do come. Maybe join us live on the first Tuesday of the month. The next one obviously will be in December. Oh my God, that sounds so close to Christmas. That'll be after Therapy Expo. Well, I guess we'll be talking about that. I do just want to make sure, as there are 2,700 people downloading this, you can't see it, but it's on the screen now. I am doing a 100 press ups a month for Cancer Research UK. So if you are feeling a bit charitable, and you want to donate just £2, that's fine. Then go along to, oh, my chest is going to be amazing, Benjamin. You give me a massage on these boys when we get there to Therapy Expo. It's something else. But yeah, if you would like to donate a couple of quid to Cancer Research UK, then I've made a short URL for it, which is easy for you to remember if you listen to the podcast. Just go to tinyurl.com/Matt Pushup. Okay, that will take you to the GoFund page, whatever it is. So it's tinyurl.com/Matt Pushup. And like I say, a quid, £2 fine. Please don't feel pressured to do. Some people have put more, which is great, but I don't want feel people to feel like, oh, they've donated a tenner, I can't donate less than a tenner. It's not about that. It's just trying to reach people, and everyone putting a quid or £2 would be lovely. So that'd be great if you can do that. Fine. Right, that's said and done. This has been Have Your Say, episode 124 of the Sports Therapy Association podcast, and we've been joined by Nicki Mansfield. Thank you very much, Nicki, and Benjamin Mace-Crossley, and also Stevie Barr, and also early on you listened to Gary Benson, who the founder of the STA. Next week we will be here with Dr. Claire Minshaw from Get Back to Sport, who's also going to be here with James Chapman. Double teaming James Chapman of Mental Health First Aid, which would be a really nice combination. They're both speakers at Therapy Expo come November. So if you want to join us live, then just again head to the Sports Therapy Association YouTube channel Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and those two guests will be with us. But I think that's it for tonight. It's 9:09, so I've kept you for too long. We could all say good night together, maybe, couldn't we? Shall we? 3, 2, 1.
Good night, folks.
Thanks, everybody.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.